Hello, and welcome to another episode of Social Workers Rise. It is your host, Catherine, here. I'm going to start out this podcast by saying something that might feel controversial in our field, but you do not have to be an advocate for everything. You're not required to have a public opinion about every political crisis. You're not required to post about every global conflict. And you're not required to exhaust yourself proving that you care about every social justice issue. I've noticed a growing pressure in our profession that if you're not speaking on everything, if you are not advocating for everything, that you're complicit. And this pressure is burning us out. Some of the most compassionate people I know are just burnt out. Today, we're going to be talking about the chaos, the overwhelmed, and what I believe feels like spiritual warfare against helpers and social workers and just good hearted people who are doing their best but feel overwhelmed. And we're going to talk about how to reclaim your energy so that you can actually sustain and focus in on what you're here to do. A little bit about me. I'm a two-time burnout survivor. I'm a therapist, a mom, course content creator, author. By the time this episode comes out, I'll have released my second book on Amazon, The Clinical Supervision Log. So, look, I've done so much, all the things. And this past year, I've really been on a journey of slowing down and intentionally creating peace. And this has not been easy, especially in our society and our culture that is constantly feeding us these messages that we are not enough. So I have been there and I have felt the pressure to do all the things to prove that I am enough. So for today, if you get nothing else, I just want you to know that you are already enough. Okay. It's so important that we are really focused in on our callings. Why did you become a social worker in the first place? It was probably to help people. But deeper than that, you probably had some sort of experience in your life where you needed help. Somebody helped you through a really hard time, and you developed this superpower of empathy that helps you to feel on a deeper level than most people are capable of. That is your superpower, and it is to be guarded. That is your light. It is to be shared with the people who need it the most. Your impact multiplies when your energy is focused, not scattered, not reactive, not guilt driven, not chaotic, but focused. And just to put this out there in case it needs to be said, you do not have to save the world or talk about every social justice issue to be an amazing social worker or an amazing person. You're called to be effective, not exhausted. So these themes have been coming up in conversation a lot with my therapy clients, with fellow social workers, even within myself. There's so many social justice issues that are being rammed down our throats right now. These things have been going on for decades, and they are just now coming to light as they should, right? I'm talking about the public scandals, cases involving the Epstein files, Diddy, global conflicts like Gaza and Israel, also to topics such as AI. And there's even so much conflict and mistrust and ethical uh, or unethical decision making and leadership within our own industry with social workers, with the National Association of Social Workers. They have their own social justice issues. And I have tried my best to try to just kind of know what's going on while at the same time setting boundaries and not getting overwhelmed and burnt out with all of the things. I will be honest, I tried watching the documentaries that are out there on a lot of these different social justice issues, but I just couldn't. I just couldn't. I got through one episode of the Epstein Files. I tried to watch the thing on Diddy, but it's just so heavy. It's just so heartbreaking to see these things, and it's traumatic. And I realize I'm in a place um of privilege that I don't have to watch these things. And I'm not going to. And that does not make me any less of a social worker. That doesn't mean that I don't care about what happened to the victims. It just means that I don't need to be traumatized in my journey for advocacy. You don't have to watch the things. Just putting it out there, you don't have to watch the things. You do not have to see the videos on social media. By watching these things, it can traumatize you, it can cause PTSD symptoms, and it can bring up your own memories and your own trauma that you've had in your own life. And all that this does is distract us. It distracts us, it creates chaos, and that is exactly what these things are designed to do. All of these different issues that are being pushed out on us are designed to distract us. They're designed to scatter us, to overwhelm us, to desensitize us. It's not that these social justice issues don't matter, they all matter. It's that we're not designed to conquer all of them at once. It's impossible. You're going to spread yourself way too thin. You're going to get overwhelmed and burnt out, and then nothing is going to happen. So, I just want to acknowledge and validate that if you're feeling pressure to perform, to advocate, to read all of the things, to learn about all of the things, if you have a fear of staying silent, if you have this fear of not doing enough, just let you know you can just take it easy. Take it easy, because some of us are confusing hypervigilance with advocacy. There is a huge, huge difference there. And if we really want to be effective, we're going to have to really hone in and focus our energy, because when the helpers are distracted, when we're divided, when we're depleted, our communities lose their anchors. They lose their way. The chaos scatters. The calling becomes diluted. And the enemy of longevity is overwhelmed. So you're allowed to not post, to not debate, to not research every headline, to not absorb every crisis. You're allowed to bring it in, focus. Focus on your calling, on your reason for being a social worker. Focus on yourself, feeding into yourself. Focus on your relationship, your children, your clients, your own healing. You're allowed to rest, my friend. Hey, it's Catherine here. I hope you are enjoying this episode. We're going to take a quick break to listen to these ads from our sponsors. You know, a lot of social workers think their employer's insurance has them covered. But here's the thing, that policy is really there to protect the organization, not you. That's why I always recommend having your own coverage with a trusted organization such as HPSO. Their professional liability insurance is designed for social workers, and it follows you wherever you work. It's peace of mind you just can't put a price on. Check them out at hpso.com/swrise. Hey, social workers, are you looking for clinical supervision or hoping to offer it? Check out Rise Directory. It's the national hub connecting associate social workers with licensed clinical supervisors, making it super easy to find your right match in your state. head over to risedirectory.com and see how it can help you grow in your career. So instead of trying to focus all of our energy on all of the things, I want to share with you what I did when I was overcoming burnout, when I was spread too thin, I was doing too much, I was doing all the things to prove that I'm good enough, right? I really had to bring it in. And this is what really helped me to rise out of that state of burnout, and hence why I created the podcast. Secret, or maybe it's not a secret anymore, but I actually created this podcast from a place of burnout. I was going to leave the field. I was feeling like this is too much. I'm not cut out for it. I'm not enough to be a social worker. And I realized that that's not true. That's not my voice. That's somebody else's voice telling me that I'm not enough, and it's a lie. And so I named this podcast Social Workers Rise as a call to action, as a motivational statement, as a reminder that yes, we get knocked down and we get tired, but at the end of the day, we end up rising up. And that means rising up in our focus, in our boundary, in strategic impact. The most radical thing that you can do right now, and that's going to be like the opposite of what society wants you to do and what they're calling you to do, is to stay grounded, stay rested, and stay peaceful. Because that's not what society calls us to do. And people are going to be threatened by that. People are going to say, oh, you're not doing enough. You're not a good enough advocate. You're not a good enough friend. You're not a good enough mom because you're not doing enough. And that is their own projection coming out on you, my friend. So, to kind of sum this up and give you a takeaway here, I'm going to break it down into 3 things. 1, focus in on your calling. Focus in on your why, on your reason for being here. Really focus in. Why are you a social worker? Why did you choose to start this career in this profession? It's to help people, right? To help your clients that you already have, the people in your social circle, your loved ones, your friends, your family, yourself. Because you are a giving, generous, passionate person. Focus in on your calling and really try to dedicate your energy to giving all that you can in your social circle, within your specialty, within your expertise. Second, I want you to consider what your capacity is. Because just because we have the time to do things doesn't mean that we have the energy or the mental capacity to do these things. So, for example, after a long day, and after a long day at work, I'm driving home. Yes, I have the time to call people. I have the time to talk to people, to reach out to people who maybe are having a really tough day that day. But that doesn't mean that I have to, because I also may have had a tough day. And if I need silence, if I need time to just sing my heart out to whatever song comes on, then that's what I'm going to do. Because my new goal for example, for the past year, I said I've been working on just me, on being the best self that I can be. My new goal is to operate from a place of overflow, meaning my capacity and my cup is so full that I am then able to give to others from a place of overflow. I'm able to give my best because I'm not completely depleted. And when I notice that my cup is getting low, when my energy is low, when I'm feeling irritable, when I'm snappy, that means I need to go take a time out. I need to go be by myself. I need to go walk. I need to go rest. I need to go pray. I need to go just relax, be in nature. And that's where I can regenerate myself so that I can come back to my loved ones and my clients with my cup full instead of giving them the leftovers. So, one, focus on your calling, on why you're here. Next, consider your capacity. What can you do or how can you show that you care without dysregulating yourself? And really hone in on those values. Everything else is optional, right? That means all of the social justice issues, that means scrolling on social media, everything else that takes away from your energy is optional. That's extra, right? So before you start engaging in anything extra or a new task, I want you to consider, is this aligned with your calling? Is this aligned with those important values of why you're here? Is it to help people? Is it going to serve your clients or those in your immediate circle, in your immediate family, within yourself? Is this aligned? Do you have the capacity for this right now? Because just because you have the time doesn't mean that you have the capacity. Also consider, is your engagement strategic or is it reactive? Is it defensive? Is it to prove something? And also consider, will this deplete you or develop you? You want to focus your energy on things that are going to feed into you, that are going to progress you, that are going to get you to the next level, that are going to help you to rise. And if it fails on any of these questions, if it doesn't align with these questions, then it's not yours. It's not yours to carry at this time. It doesn't mean that you don't care. You can care deeply, but it doesn't mean that it's your battle to fight, right? So you are allowed to not post, to not debate. You're allowed to not get lost in every crisis, in every inhumane injustice. Your first responsibility, especially as a professional social worker, is really to be well enough to serve the people assigned to you, your clients, your loved ones, your friends, yourself, right? We cannot build generational impact. We cannot advocate. We cannot strategically plan or think if we are chronically dysregulated, stressed out, and in a state of chaos. I always wonder, what would it be like if all of the helpers in the world were able to fill their own cup and they were then able to give to others the best that they had instead of just feeling depleted and worn out and overwhelmed and giving whatever's left. We cannot build wealth, stability, or legacy in this profession if you're emotionally scattered by every single news headline, by every single social justice issues that comes your way, right? We need to be focused. We need to have our energy very clear cut. So I just want to validate this for you. You don't need to fight every battle to be a powerful social worker. You do need to protect your energy so that you can fight and show up for the challenges that you are called to do. You have your own set of experiences and your own social circles and your own expertise that makes you perfectly and beautifully situated to help people in a way that nobody else could. And we really need to honor that to be able to maximize that strength in your circle. For example, I am really good at helping women and helping older adults. It doesn't mean that I don't care about children, right? It just means that that's not my specialty. That's not my calling. I leave that to the other people who that is their specialty. We are not meant to fight every single battle, but sometimes we need to learn when it's time to step back and let the people who are trained and specialized in those things to do those things and to really rise. So, as social workers, I want us to rise above the noise, rise above the guilt, and rise into a place of clarity and of focus. The world does not need you to be exhausted. It needs you to be regulated, strategic, and ethically grounded in your leadership skills. So, just to conclude, I hope that you're taking this to heart, that just because you're not engaging, it doesn't mean you don't care. It means that you are being focused, and that is a ridiculously powerful leadership quality, is being focused and clear and specialized in your area. So, if this episode benefited you in any way or it reminded you of somebody who needs to hear it, please share this with them. We want to spread the word about this because this is a industry-wide problem that I see all over social media, even within classes, that people are constantly trying to make it feel like we are not enough. But you already are, and it's okay to be focused and to own your expertise. With that, I will talk to you next time. If you need extra resources on clinical supervision, on clinical work as far as documentation goes, there's courses that I have. You can check the link in the bio. I'm also working on a membership specifically for social workers that is going to be a place for community, that is going to be a place that we can collaborate and improve our confidence, improve our clinical skills, and improve the way that we talk about the value that we bring and the impact that we have, so that we can really improve our confidence and take that to bring greater impact to our clients and bring greater income into our households. Because the more that we can talk about the skills that we have and the changes that we're able to help facilitate, the more that we're able to communicate our value to other people. So that is in the works. If you want to be the first to kind of know what's happening with that, it's been something I've been brewing up for years in my head, and it's finally taken action. So join the email resource list, and I will be keeping you in the loop about all of these things. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for all of the work that you do and your passion for helping others. You are so, so needed.